On Amazon, I went ahead and ordered this CO2 tire inflator, and I ordered some CO2 cartridges with it so that I can go into my computer and spray off the built up dirt over these last couple years. All the dust that builds up on all those metal fins inside the computer will stop the computer from cooling as quickly as it could. It's very important that you unplug your computer before you spray inside of the fins. And you want to hit all the fins that you can see, those metal slots or fins. You want to hit all of those you can see with everything unplugged at every angle you can to get as much dust off the fins as possible. This is going to help your cooling system to work much more efficiently and get rid of that heat. So that's definitely one step you want to take. Next, we want to get the fan cooling the way we need it to. So let's go to this MSI.com/page/Afterburner. You're going to scroll down quite a ways to get to Afterburner download. I went ahead and did the beta download just for the heck of it, but you could just do download. So I downloaded that and installed it. Now, one problem that I did run into is this screen showed up very small on my computer and I could barely read it. So the way I solved that problem is I went to where the file is, open file location. Here it is. Right-clicked on that, properties, compatibility, change DPI settings. I checked this. It was like this. Let me show you. It was application without override. That's how it was. So I clicked this. I'm in Windows 10, by the way. And then I clicked System Enhanced, and I clicked OK. OK. By doing that, when I reopened MSI Afterburner, it came to this beautiful size we have now. I went ahead and opened it up, and I also opened up a VR game with my VR Vive. I have Vive. Oculus is another one that uses all this computer power. So I opened up this game called Gorn, because it has a lot of moving parts, what have you, once you're in it. Before doing that, my temperature was about 38. It's already at about 64. It's at 64 and 65 when I'm not even actually in the game with all the moving people coming against me. The more of those moving characters and the more of me fighting and moving around, of course, the more computer power it's going to take, which is going to raise that temperature. Now, by the way, we can see here that the temperature went back to 38 Celsius because the computer automatically shut off the VR game. We can hit play and play it again, but we see what a temperature difference occurred when we shut off the game. So that's interesting to notice how much temperature has changed from being inside VR to closing it. So let's hit here. Let's click on fan. We can now see that what our default fan setup is already in the computer. Now what's interesting is the maximum my computer is already set up for is 83 degrees Celsius. So the manufacturers have said 83 is the safest high we should allow our computer to get to. And the first thing I notice is that my fan speed does not even reach 100% before the 83 max is even reached. So I am not utilizing my fan the way it should be utilized. So I'm going to set this on custom, and I'm going to make things make a little more sense. Before my computer reaches this 83, I want it to hit 100%. So I'm going to move this over to 80. So now when the temperature reaches 80 Celsius, I'll have 100% fan kicking in. But to prevent that from even getting that hot, let's make it kick in more when we get to 70 degrees. We'll do 80% fan speed. But up until there, I really think it's okay to keep the fan speeds fairly low. So maybe I'll have the increases start at around 65 degrees. In other words, I'm not going to really worry too much until it hits 65 degrees. And then we're going to allow it to start kicking into gear. Maybe I'll just go ahead and move this over and make it a straight line. So once we hit 65 degrees, actually, you know what? I want it to get to 70 degrees before it starts really kicking in there. and maxing out at 80 degrees. So I'm just going to make this a straight line. So now, when the temperature reaches 70 is when my computer really kicks in there to protect the CPU. And it slowly increases speed as it rises to the 80 degree mark. I feel a lot better about this setup here to protect my PC from overheating and causing problems while I play my VR game. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm going to hit apply. I've noticed that mostly while my VR is on, that I haven't really quite reached 70 degrees. So that's why I'm feeling good about keeping the fan low before 70 degrees. Because if it's keeping it at that temperature, which doesn't hurt my CPU, I feel pretty good about that and not wasting my fan and wearing it out. So I'm going to let it really start kicking in at 70 and really working on cooling things off. So there we go. Let's hit OK. Now we need to save the profile, our custom profile, by clicking here. And we'll click on 1. So we've saved that to custom profile 1. Now we click on startup, and I believe by clicking on that, when we reopen this, it'll automatically come back on custom profile 1. Let's check it out real quick. Close. Let's reopen. Okay, we've reopened, and it looks like it's on profile 1. If I click this here, this little right there, I've just shut off my custom profile. If I click it back on, you see it's surrounded by this highlight. That means my custom profile is turned back on. And of course, I see no reason to not always have the custom profile on. So one more thing that may be confusing, after you've saved to profile 1 and clicked on startup, my experience has shown that I wouldn't try to put other profiles in the other boxes. It just seems to overwrite one. It just doesn't work out well. So I would just keep the one profile and use this program just for one profile. Now remember, if you close this program here, the custom profile no longer works because the program is not on anymore. So you do have to have this on in order for everything to work under the custom profile. The next thing is, let's go to settings. Settings. Make sure you click on Start with Windows and Start Minimized. Start Minimized is the same thing as minimizing here. And of course, don't forget to hit Apply or OK, which isn't showing on my screen. But it's going to cause confusion and is causing confusion for many people is that right now, before it's minimized, we could see it's here on our taskbar. Let's go ahead and minimize now. Now that we've minimized, it's completely disappeared from our taskbar. So this is causing everyone to believe that minimizing is actually closing the program. But in reality, it's not. It's just some type of glitch in the Afterburner program. It is still running. And when you restart your computer, it will be running also because you marked those things for it to run upon startup. You're still not going to see it in here. So if you want to prove to yourself that it's running, hold down Control-Alt-Delete at the same time. Click Task Manager. You don't even see it on Task Manager, which even makes you still think it's not working. Let's now click on Details. Go ahead and organize it by name so it's easy to find. It starts with an M, so let's go down, look for the program. Here it is. We see it is running. Right here, it's showing you how much memory it's using. So there is a glitch that doesn't keep it in the taskbar, and it confuses us. But it is actually running. We proved that by looking at details. And we got to this, we held down Control-Alt, then we hit Delete, and it brought this up. So everything is fine and working in the background. No worries there. If I've been any help to you, hey guys, feel free to click like and subscribe and turn alerts on